And just so everybody knows, I just want to be truthful here. Dave had to talk me into shooting this video. I'm going to talk about our services. I'm going to talk about things we do. This is going to come across as a bit of a pitch. We're just forewarning you now. But he had to pull. This was like pulling teeth for me because I don't necessarily like pitching in a marketing video. I'm trying to educate. I'm trying to be like, Jonathan. He never's trying to sell you. He's just telling you this is the facts, this is what I see. And therefore he's got people like, oh, that's the guy I need. I've got this, thing going on. That's kind of where I want us to be, right? But I relented because I do think it's important because sometimes people don't really know like what it is we actually do and how we do it and why we do it and all that stuff. So that's why I agreed. But so if it comes across a little pitchy, I'm sorry, but this is why we think it's important. So yes, to your point, Dave, we do try to come in and do those assessments. A lot of that's just in the pre-sales process. I kind of drag that out of the customer. What is this really going to do for you? Recently I actually did a paid engagement where a company was evaluating, a bunch of different potential platforms to use. And, I helped them kind of formulate some of their questions to the vendors and, give them a lot of things to think about that they hadn't really considered. I connected them with, some of my old customers who were using some of those platforms and, they could tell them the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, I gave them my opinion, hey, based on what you're telling me, what kind of your price points are, what, where you guys are describing where the benefits potentially could be. Here's what I would recommend you do and why, based on this is what I know about your business. And if I'm wrong about what I know about your business, then please educate me. But this is just what I've heard, the last couple of years of just talking. And so, we've done that. That's typically something in my domain, my space, just because I've probably seen and done more than the rest of our crew. But it was interestingly enough, Tia and Ben actually sat in on a couple of those calls where we were talking about that. So they got to hear what I talked about and the things they fired back at me and challenged me on. Because they actually challenged me on something. It's like, well, you really seem pretty, in this particular platform's camp. And I just said, look, based on what you've put in front of me, where I think your value is and what I think their price point is going to be, you'd be silly not to do it. Because I know that's where your value is going to come from, and there were some other extenuating things. And I said, and I just went down the list, like this one, here are going to be the challenges. This one, here's going to be the challenges. This one, here's going to be the challenges. This one I wouldn't even consider. And I said, so just kind of eliminating all that, like, okay, yeah, none of these platforms are going to do everything you want, but this one's like the best one for where you're at today. And, oh, by the way, it can pipe to some other stuff you may want to do down the road. Like, why would you not do that? It'd be kind of silly. So, so they got to hear, like, I got challenged, and, why I'm thinking a certain way. So that kind of goes back to that soft skill we were talking about, and kind of trying to build my people up so they can do those kind of things. As some little point solutions we do, we've shot some videos on the data fidelity study where we can come in, if you have a PI system, we can come, or a Factory Talk Historian system, we can come in and evaluate how good your data quality is and we educate you and we give you a plan on how to improve that, right? With Paul Shermato and Pattern Discovery's Compression Insight software, right? That's a thing we do. It's a little point solution that's under $5,000. You and I are talking about doing a Power BI jumpstart. Because there's a lot of companies that would like to use Power BI in a time series data format. And, I'm trying to think about something we can do for under maybe like $3,000. Just to come in and, let's go get some data and let's kind of put it on some stuff and then get you a plan on, okay, here's how you could kind of work there and get to a point where this is more live than, this is going to be something very, very static and a one-time thing, but it kind of opens your eyes to what's possible. So we've talked about that, and there'll be more to come on that. And if anybody's interested, I'd be glad to do it now. But we haven't formulated everything. I'd be glad if somebody's like, hey, we really want to do that. We want to be a guinea pig. I'd be glad to explore that. But literally it's just a couple of days to come in and say, hey, this is what we think you can do. Let's go build it once. So those are some of the, couple little point solutions we do. That's kind of like more of the low cost kind of stuff we do. And almost all of that's, kind of in my domain right now.